In fact, a follow-up segment tonight. Last week, you may remember this. And I'm going to have you on next week, and I want to see all the evidence that you can compile that shows that Tea Party's racist.
And after I show that, will you concede the point?
I'll have to see what the evidence is.
If you find it compelling, will you concede the point?
If I find it compelling, I'll admit it's compelling. All right, here now with the evidence of Tea Party racism, Dr. Marc Lamont Hill teaches at Columbia University. Now, we're going to keep this for your two strongest points. All right?
That's fair. That's all I need.
You'll state them, and then I'll rebut, and then the folks will decide. Point number one.
Point number one is the pervasive presence of racist signs and buttons and discourses all around Tea Party rallies. Not one rally, not one group of outliers, but consistently throughout Tea Party rallies. And there's images, there's video clips. There's proof from the very beginning of this movement that these people are present in every rally.
All right, so you're pointing to the signs that they're holding up, but you don't know who's holding the signs up, right?
If this were an incident where, for example, at an anti-war rally, you may see some offensive sign about George Bush 4 years ago, as an outlier. But if every single Tea Party rally, there are many people, and I've gone to a lot of these rallies, there are many people there holding these signs, and the Tea Party itself does very little to stop or discourage that, that says that they're either racist themselves or they're benefiting from the presence of racism, which is the same thing.
Look, I don't know who's holding the signs. Certainly could be people, dirty tricks people who want to make the Tea Party. That's certainly not impossible.
You mean like plants? Because you dismissed the idea of plants with me last week.
Well, it was. And then
you said I had no evidence.
Subsequently, we investigated Velma, and she wasn't a plant. She was a normal person.
No, my point is...
So you were wrong last week, just so you know. Okay, your point is that there are signs here, but the Tea Party has condemned the signs. The leaders have condemned them.
When you go to Tea Party rallies and you continue to see dozens of these signs, what does it mean to condemn a sign but allow them to be held up?
But what do you mean allowed them? What are they supposed to go through the crowd and pull them out?
I have seen very little. First of all, I've seen very little condemnation on your first point. I've seen very little condemnation. I've heard a few Tea Party representatives say, we don't really like those signs. But when you consistently see signs of Obama looking like a monkey, using offensive language, using dirty language like the N-word, when you see this type of stuff consistently, the Tea Party's benefiting from that.
I disagree with you in two ways. Number one, I don't think the signs are pervasive, and I don't know who's putting the signs up. And the Tea Party leadership has been fairly consistent. Roll the tape.
We've all seen the signs. There have been signs that compare Barack Obama to a monkey. There have been signs that have had the N-word on them. When you see those signs, how do you feel?
They're offensive. They don't belong there, but there will always be fringe elements.
The folks that are leading these major organizations who are making a difference by getting the vote out, getting people elected, clearly have stated unequivocally that there is no room for this kind of derogatory speech. Indeed, no room for racism.
Okay, so there you go. You say not enough.
I disagree. You have one of the four black Tea Party members say that he.
I could run in 10 of those clips. So they are on the record as condemning.
But that doesn't make them. But they're not. Bill, if they're at every rally, they're not fringe.
Look, if you want to go to the NAACP, you can find the same kind of radical element there. All right, let's go on.
But that's untrue. That's just factually untrue.
No, it is.
If you go to NAACP rallies, you do not consistently see signs of the nature that those are. It's just simply not true.
But we don't know again. Who is putting those signs out there? Okay, let's get to the University of Washington. Some professor did a survey, correct?
A scientific study.
Go ahead. And it says?
Which says that Tea Party members are more likely to be racially resentful and have negative racial attitudes than other people. They are also statistically more likely to think that black people are unintelligent and less hardworking.
Tea Party members?
Yes, than people who do not approve of the Tea Party.
Now, this professor, he's a left-leaning guy.
Science is science. I wouldn't care who he was.
Okay. Now,
whether he's a conservative, a liberal, it doesn't matter.
You say it's science. Now, here is from realclearpolitics.com, the analysis of that professor's scientific study, all right? Whites in every group are less likely to rate blacks than whites as intelligent, in every group, professor, okay? By similar margins. 14% for Tea Party supporters, 45 versus 59. 13% for all whites, 49 versus 62. 10 points for Tea Party opponents, 59 versus 69. For trustworthy, the gap is smaller in the Tea Party group, 41 to 49, than in the regular group. So, what you're saying is, whites who don't support the Tea Party come in with worse numbers on honesty and trtrustworthiness and intelligence. That's what the survey said.
That's actually not what the survey says.
Yes, it did.
If you look at whites who strongly approve of the Tea Party, they are most likely to find blacks less hardworking and less trustworthy.
I'm going to direct the viewers to Real Clear Politics.
Well, no, why don't we direct them to the actual study?
Because the study...
Why don't we direct him to the actual study? You're directing him to an interpretation of the study, which is wrong. As a social scientist, I'm telling you that your interpretation is absolutely wrong.
The numbers are the numbers.
Yes, and the numbers say that there's a strong correlation between strongly approving of the Tea Party
Then I'll do this. Is this fair and balanced? Read the Washington study, the University
I've read it.
Guide. Okay, no, I want the viewers to.
Please do.
And then read the Real Clear Politics analysis of it. Okay?
That works. If it turns out that what I'm saying is true, and it is, will you then concede that
No, because the study, according to Real Clear and our analysis, is that the Tea Party members are more liberal toward African Americans on the basis of trustworthiness and honesty than the general white population.
Let's deal with the first point. The first point was that they're more likely to be racially resentful. Do you agree with that interpretation of the study?
No.
Based on what?
Based on the Real Clear analysis.
On resentful attitudes toward blacks,
which
Latinos?
Is based on whether they get a fair shake or not. Look.
No, based on whether or not the government is giving them too many benefits.
You believe what you believe, but I think you came in with a preconceived notion, and so
no,
did the professor.
I came in as a trained social scientist reading a study.
You gave us 2 examples. I rebutted.
Yes, with fallacious information.
No, it's not fallacious. Real Clear is very clear about
but they're wrong.
How they did it.
They're clear, but
you say they're wrong and they say they're right. Let the audience decide.
Let the audience please look at the study and read this for yourself.
Okay, I want them to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they have to decide.
And if it turns out that my interpretation is correct, would that then make the Tea Party racist? Yes or no?
No.
Well, then you're saying I can't win. You're saying even if they agree with my interpretation of the study, you're still right.
Because the study itself is subjective, not
objective.
It is
not subjective.
It absolutely is.
Based on what? It's a scientific poll.
It's not a scientific poll.
It absolutely is. And if it were wildly subjective, then why appeal to Real Clear Politics? You're saying the study
Because they tore it apart.
So essentially what you're saying is the study is only correct when they agree with you.
No, I'm not Real Clear. Real Clear.
We know you're not real clear. You're real unclear.
I'm not Real Clear Politics. It's a totally different deal with no ideology.
No, I
got to stop you. Let the audience see, and they can decide. That's the fair thing to do.
That is fair and balanced.